everybody, I'm Chef Rob. Welcome. Today we're going to make some takeout style General Tso's chicken and broccoli. It's really good. Going to use some chicken thighs with it. Let's cut them up first. Okay. Always use a separate cutting board for that because you don't want to cross-contaminate. So I'm using about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of chicken thighs. You want to cut this into 1.5-inch cubes and then just toss it right back into the bowl. Okay, so you can either leave the skin on or off, whatever you prefer. Can you do it with chicken breast? Of course, but just be really careful you don't overcook it because the white meat can really overcook quickly. So usually when you go for some takeout, it is usually the chicken thighs. So just cut that into little pieces. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some cornstarch. And the cornstarch, just going to take off a little bit of this extra fat here because you want meat definitely in every bite. So when you add it to the cornstarch, that is what is going to cause the sauce to become nice and thick and give it that nice glaze later on. Just check for bones. Like I just heard a little bone in there, so I do want to leave that to the side. This is all good. Nothing worse than getting a bone in your chicken dish. So just really feel through it first. Again, this is 1-inch cubes. And then we're going to make a nice glaze with it. And I always like to have some vegetables going on with this dish. So I am going to steam up some broccoli on the side. And we're just going to kind of blanch it and drop it into some boiling water and then chill it really quickly. See another little piece of bone there, a little cartilage. So we want to get that out. And again, you can still go through it and really feel it. So we are just about done cutting up our chicken. And now we're going to heat up some vegetable oil. Any deep dish pan that you have, if you have a wok, perfect. I'm going to take just enough to kind of coat the bottom and maybe just a touch more. And we want to cook this chicken through to 165 degrees. That is good. Turn this up to a medium-high heat. Now let's take about 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And we're going to really toss this around really well. Just a dot more. Perfect. You can always take a little bit of kosher salt and just kind of add it right on there. Just kind of season it. So we're going to wait for this oil to get hot. We're going to coat the chicken. And in the meantime, like I said, we like to do different vegetables with it. So I'm going to steam up some broccoli and then we're just going to chill it. Okay, and then at the very end we just toss it in. If you want to add carrots, you want to add scallions to this, water chestnuts, anything like that. Asparagus would be great as well. Okay, just make sure it's really coated like this. That's perfect. So we're just going to let that oil heat up. In the meantime, let's start on our broccoli. We're just going to slide over to a brand new cutting board because don't want to cross-contaminate. I am just going to cut this piece right here off. And I'm just going to cut it into little florets. Slide these pieces to the side. Cut that. You want it to all be kind of uniform because you have 1-inch cubes with the chicken. So kind of think about that with the broccoli or anything else you may be putting in with it. If you wanted to add shrimp to this, pork, you could make it a whole different dish and it would be really good. Okay, let's drop the broccoli into some boiling water and then our oil should be ready. So our water is boiling. We're just going to let this in here for just about 3 minutes. Just make sure all of the pieces are submerged in here. Okay, and it's going to be 3 minutes. We're going to put it in a colander, run some cold water over it, and then it will be ready just to finish up at the end of the dish. So let's go add our chicken into the wok. So let's take in our chicken thighs that are in 1-inch cubes, toss with some cornstarch, and we're going to get it nice and crisp, and we're going to cook it through to 165 degrees. So if you have a thermometer there, that will help. Okay, so we're just going to kind of let it sit on the bottom here, really get a nice sear on it, and then we're going to turn it over. So now we're going to go back to our broccoli, put it into the colander because a couple minutes have gone by and it is all ready to be cooled. So our broccoli is nice and cool. We now have our chicken in here. Look at it sizzling away. We'll turn that soon. While that is cooking, let's make our sauce for this. Very simple, but a lot of flavor in it. So we're going to take 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and you can use the regular or the low sodium. Do just a little bit more. Then we're going to add some rice wine vinegar. You can use the rice wine vinegar that is seasoned or unseasoned. It would be fine. The seasoned one, it really just has a little sugar and salt in it. Okay, so 3 tablespoons of the rice wine vinegar. Now this is very salty here, but it's a nice glaze. So we want 2 nice tablespoons of hoisin sauce. You can find this down the international aisle, right where the soy sauce is. It comes in a small little bottle. I'm going to take 3 tablespoons of sugar. So make it a little bit sweet. About 1/4 cup of water. Let's pour that right in here. And 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And then we're just going to give it a good whisk. And we're going to reserve this on the side, because when we add this in with the chicken, that's what's going to make it that nice glaze. Let's check back on our chicken. Still sizzling. We're going to be turning this very shortly. Again, I want to see if I can get a nice crispness on the bottom. Okay. Okay, and always kind of shuffle them around because the heat directly is always in the middle, so you may have to move them around really well. Okay. They do shrink up a lot because there's a lot of fat in chicken thighs, and when you have the fat on the outside of it, so you are going to give up a lot of meat. So 1 pound to 1.5 pounds can really shrink up a lot. This dish here will make 4 servings. So let's just take this chicken, turn it over, and you can just tell, look at all that crispiness right there. So cook it on a medium-high to a high heat. Just stay with it. Cook it through. We have our sauce already done. We have our broccoli done. So at the very end, we're going to take this off, just let it drain a little, and then we're going to just peel up a little bit of fresh ginger. So you're just going to try to look for a nice big chunk like this. Always when you buy ginger, look for a chunk that has a nice thick like this, nice and solid, because that means it's fresh. Buy the smallest one. You can always break it off in the store. Just take the amount that you need. Ginger does freeze, but why not always get it nice and fresh from the supermarket? So we're just going to take a microplane, which is this right here, and we're just going to zest up some of this. We just need about 1 tablespoon's worth of ginger, and we're just going to leave it right on the side. Now it looks like nothing is coming off, and that is true, but when you turn it around, you can see everything builds up on here, and you just kind of take your finger and it'll all come off just like that. Okay, so about 1 tablespoon worth of fresh ginger. We're going to use a little bit of fresh garlic as well, 2 cloves. We're going to mince them up, and some red chili flakes. the pepper flakes. So those, they give it a little bit of a kick. So if you don't like it too spicy, just very little, or you can just not put it in at all. So I give these red pepper flakes right here. I'm just going to take the garlic, 2 cloves, just smash this down. And just really mince this up really well. I can tell our chicken is just about to come out of the pan. So I'm just going to take all of the chicken right out, let it drain. Put on some paper towels. And again, if you were doing this like a general shrimp, you would do the same exact way. Coat it with some cornstarch. Make sure they're cooked all the way through. And make the same exact sauce too. So you want about 1 tablespoon of oil in here. Okay, so that is just about perfect. It might be a touch more, but that is fine. I'm going to take our garlic, the 2 cloves, put that right in here. I'm going to add in our ginger. Drop that in. And the red pepper flakes, about a ½ teaspoon, so it's not many. It's just a few, just enough to get a nice little seasoning, a little kick to it. And you just want to cook this on a medium heat for about 30 seconds. As soon as you start smelling the garlic, it is done, and you're going to add the chicken right in here. Okay? You want to keep moving it around. You don't want to burn the garlic. So do that for 30 seconds. And I have my chicken right here, ready to go back into the pan. Now we're going to toss that all up. Get that garlic, ginger, red pepper flakes right on it. Have your sauce all ready to go. And the sauce is going to go right in the pan for, again, about 30 seconds. And it will start to thicken up. Just kind of bring it to a boil. And it's just going to become a nice glaze on the chicken. And then you can add the broccoli right in, or you can just serve it right on the side. Okay, so if you could see, this has a really nice glaze on it. It really got thick. It took about 30 seconds. Now is when you could take some broccoli, add it in here. Just give it a quick toss, and that is all it really needs. I'm just going to put this in a serving bowl. Remember, this serves about 4 people. Put this right in here. Of course, if you want some rice with this, make some steamed white rice. And then just kind of make sure some green is on top there. And then I always like to finish it off with some scallions. So if you take one bunch of scallions and just kind of take these tops off, because these can be a little woody and tough. Okay, these roots, you can actually just go out and put them in the soil, and they're going to grow back. Okay, sunny soil, and make sure it gets a lot of water, and you'll never buy scallions again. I'm just cutting this just like this, and we're going to garnish this on top. And this is just something, if you want to do this, I really like scallions on this. I think it really makes it pretty. I think it gives it a nice flavor, the onion. And then if you like some sesame seeds, you can just take a little bit of sesame seeds and just sprinkle it on top. And that is it. So this is our restaurant style General Tso's chicken and broccoli. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you watch all my other videos that are out there, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you as always.